Hello, lovelies. It's officially November. Today's November 2nd. So that means for this month, I will be continuing my fall TBR, continue to go through that one, but also some new books that are not on my TBR I will be reading this month. I did do a November TBR, so if you're interested to see what books I'm planning to read this month, you can go ahead and watch that one. It should be out by this point. But yeah, my current read is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. I am currently enjoying this one a whole lot, actually. I think I'm at page 140 something. 141. I'm at page 141. It's getting interesting. So far, what I know about this book is that it's following this girl. She's a diviner. She doesn't go by a name. She goes by number 6 because she's one of 6. And she's the last one in this group of girls where I don't really understand like how it works magic wise, but this lady, she's called the Abyss, she goes and finds foundlings. Foundlings are basically orphans, and their whole job, foundlings, is that they are put into this water. Basically, they're dunked into the water. They're drowning them temporarily. They're drowning them for like a short period of time, and once that happens, well, they also consume the blood of the person that they're gonna try to divine their future, their like the prophecy of their life. They drink their blood, and then they are dunked into the water, and they have a dream. The dream takes them on different landscape, different places, and they see like these different omens. Like omens could be like a symbol telling a symbol of luck, a symbol of bad luck, basically, is the gist that I've gotten from what I've read so far. And the diviners now, they've never been outside of the cathedral. The cathedral is like this big stony building, and they have gargoyles as like they're like servants, and also as their guards. And there's this one gargoyle that I really like in here. What was he doesn't have a name. She just calls him the bat-like gargoyle because all the gargoyles, they look like different types of creatures, but gargoyles are just stone creatures. And this one, he's the only one that can talk. He calls everyone Bartolomeo, and I just find that so interesting because at the very beginning, before the book even started, there was this passage that there was this little story being mentioned. Like, it was like, oh, Bartolomeo, I have this story to tell you. So obviously that gargoyle knows something, but he forgets a whole lot. So I believe that has a much more deeper meaning to it, that he calls everyone that. They're all trying to figure out why does he call everyone that, but like they don't really take it as serious. But I take it serious because I read that passage before the story started, so I'm like, it links to something, I know. But yeah, so far it's very good. I'm enjoying it a whole lot. It's not a romantasy in my opinion because it's more focusing on these missing diviners, because the whole premise is that number 6, she's trying to find number 1 through 5 because they started disappearing slowly one by one each night whenever they went to sleep. And it's a whole mystery too because they're like families. They grew up with each other. They're basically sisters. So obviously she wants to find her sisters. So that's the whole premise. There is this knight in here that basically doesn't believe in diviners, and they end up going on like this journey to find her sisters. So far she's with this knight and these other knights and this other character that's more important than Knight. I don't want to talk about who he is, but yeah. And she's discovering some stuff outside of the world that she knows because she's only been in the cathedral. Like, she doesn't remember her childhood at all, which I also find that interesting, that none of them can remember their childhood. And I forgot the name they use. There's like this little mesh thing that they wear over their face, like their mouth is showing, but their eyes are covered. And none of the girls have taken it off all these years. Like, they did take it off, yeah, but they never look at themselves when they take it off, so they don't know what their own features look like. I find that interesting, and I think there's a whole story there too, why they have that on their face and they don't know what each other look like, because one of them took it off and she was scared when she took it off. She put it back on. So I want to know why. It's so interesting. I'm just very invested. So yeah, that's my current read right now. I will be picking up some other books on my fall TBR later on this week. I always say this every time I feel like I'm sick, but I honestly think this time I'm actually sick because I've been coughing up a lot of, phlegm, and my throat feels funny. So I think I am getting sick, which it makes sense because it's been getting really cold here in Florida. When I say really cold, I mean like it's been hitting the 70s, the low 70s, and like 70 and like 68, like that, very consistently. So I'm not a cold weather girl. So I get sick soon as the weather changes. So you can even hear it in my voice, like, which is unfortunate because I'm like, I have so much rain vlogs I have planned to do, so I hope I don't get really sick. It's been a while since I've been really sick. I think I got really sick once last year, and that was it. I have to say, the older I get, the less sick I've been becoming. So that's a good sign right there. Because when I was younger, I was sick left and right, and I when I'm sick, 2 weeks max. It's 2 weeks max of feeling like I'm dying. It's the worst feeling. Anyway, I finished reading The Night on the Mod yesterday. This was a good book. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun read. I love the Gargoyle companion in here. Like, he was one of my favorite characters ever. So honestly, it was no surprise that towards the end, I was very sad because of one thing that happened with the Gargoyle, and I was like, what the freak? Why would you do my baby like that? It wasn't like it was super terrible, but like I was offended, okay? I felt bad. I was like, I just want to fight that character. Like, I just love those like creature companions in books, and I didn't know we were gonna get that with this book, but like once he was mentioned and once I was introduced to him, immediately I loved him immediately. I just call him the Gargoyle because he didn't really have a name. He's just a bat-like gargoyle. Because in this world, there's like the at the cathedral where the ladies are at, the six ladies, they have these gargoyle guards, servants, basically. And they're different types of gargoyles. I've mentioned it earlier, but this specific gargoyle, he's very attached to number six, so they are always together, and I just love their friendship. Was it? Yeah, it's like a friendship. It's basically like her best friend at this point, to be honest. Like, because they're always talking with each other, they're always together, and he's so soft. Like, he's always crying. Oh my god, I just loved him. I'm looking forward to book two because there's definitely going to be a book two with the ending and all that. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, this kind of reminded me of a little bit of Paladin's Strength by T.K. Fisher. Paladin's Strength I read earlier this year. Not earlier this year, a few months back, like 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 2 months ago. It was in September, I believe. August or September. I also gave Paladin's Strength 4.5 stars, which is what I gave this one, 4.5 stars. It reminds me of it because, like, this girl, she has like a role that like a guy would have, and that was also with Paladin Strength, where she was more a fighter, like a fighting person. Like, she was in this group with all these guys, and she was also able to fight too when they were fighting. It reminded me of that with this one because she was, even though she came from like a very feminine role and not fighting and stuff like that, she ended up becoming like a part of the knighthood and basically also going on this adventure and fighting people as well. So I felt a bit of a connection there because of that, and also because she's like on the taller side. Like, she's not like very small and petite. She's also like very strong, because even in the beginning she was fighting with the guy, the love interest, and I was like, oh, okay girl, I see you. Yeah, so I like how strong she was physically and mentally. So I enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm looking forward to book two, which is not going to come out until like a whole next year later. So yeah. Yeah, but it was a fun read. I loved it. I think it's finally time to pick up this book right here, this book that I've been holding off for forever. So yeah, I'm gonna restart this one. I'm gonna start it all over again from page one to the very end. It is around 420 pages, I think. 438 pages. Yeah. So this is what I'm planning to read. I might listen to the audiobook of Summer's End in the Shady Hollow series. I finally got my audiobook copy of that. So whenever I get the audiobook, I immediately go listen to them because I love that series so much. But yeah, obviously that one, summertime, but who cares? I love the series. But yeah, that's my reading plan for the rest of this week. Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and Summer's End. I've been reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to pick it up. And this time around, I am definitely enjoying it way more than what I remembered the first time I picked it up. I think last time I picked up, I had went up to the page 100 mark because I was like, first 100 pages always determines whether or not I'm gonna like a book. And at the time, I was like, I'm not liking it. I could hardly get through it, but yeah, it's been hours and I only read 62 pages. But I say this time around, I'm not gonna rush it or anything. I'm just planning to read it slowly but surely because it is a slower paced story, anyways. I am loving the writer style. That's one thing for sure I'm noticing. I have a few tabs because I've liked a whole lot of like lines and like little quotes here and there, and I've also tabbed important world building information. So it's going great this second time around. So yeah, I'm gonna update some more once I've gotten like probably the halfway mark of this book, or maybe earlier if I have anything interesting to talk about, anything that piqued my interest. But enjoying it so far. Today, my plan is to get to at least the halfway mark of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've been reading this one for like 3 days now and only reached page 126 because, well, today's the third day, so I read up to 126 pages the past 2 days and I haven't been reading anything else. So it's either I pick up something else or I get to the halfway mark today and see where that goes because I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I've tapped a whole lot because it's like very beautiful writing, but like it's a very slow paced book, so not much is going on. It's like before when I DNF'd it that I feel like not much was going on, but this time around I'm more invested in Addie LaRue's story. Like I really want to see where it's gonna go, and like with that guy that she met at the bookstore, I want to see where that goes with them because he seems to remember her, which that's the whole premise of this book. He made a deal with this god that she want to live forever, but he's like, oh, forever, I need your soul. That's not a good deal. So she ends up with this deal where she basically is living very long, yeah, but until she's ready to say that she's done living this life, he can take her soul. So basically he's making her purposely live the worst life ever so that she can be like, okay, I give up. Take my soul now. That's what I'm seeing basically. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a very cool story. I think there was a movie called Adeline that she lived long because she died and came back to life because of the car underwater or something like that. So the more I read this one, I was like, it reminds me of that. So I was gonna look it up to see because I remember watching that movie and her name is actually Adeline in this book. So I'm like, why would she choose the same exact name as a character that she got this idea from? That's another thing. So yeah, I don't know. That's also interesting right there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up another book though because as much as I'm like liking it, I'm not loving it. Like it's kind of boring, it's kind of dragging. So I'm gonna pick up something else in the meantime while I'm reading this throughout this week. Now I can say this book is getting somewhere. Guys, it took me 3 days to finally reach the 50% mark, the halfway mark. Because I was like, I know I'm gonna like this book a whole lot better once I just get through the introduction part, learning about the character, and like seeing like her past, her present. I would say around page 120. Yeah, page 120 is when I really started liking this book a whole lot more than before. Like, yeah, the second time around reading it, even though I was still put off by the slow pacing, I was loving the writing style way more, and so I was entertaining a whole lot because of that. There's a lot of quotes, a lot of like very sad lines in here, but it's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere that has me so intrigued because of this other character. Because I had a feeling, and it looks like I was right, but I still don't know. I still don't know exactly what's going on with that character. I just had a feeling, and I was kind of correct. And something was a bit revealed at the halfway mark, so I'm right there where I'm gonna figure out some more with him. So yeah, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm enjoying it now. Today is Friday, so it took me a whole lot of days to get to the halfway mark. But I did listen to the audiobook of Summer's End in the Shady Hollow series. That's book 5 by Junior Black. And I am loving this series more and more. It's just a cozy mystery series centered around animals. Like animals are the main character. They're talking. They walk on 2 legs, and like there's birds, and there's like foxes and bears, and they're living like humans, but they're animals basically. But they live the exact same life as human beings. They have their own little like town, and it's all animals in this world basically. I've just been loving this series. It's so cozy, and it kind of reminds me of like the Nancy Drew series that I used to binge back in the day. So I think that's why I've really been loving this one, because it's not very exquisite with the mystery aspect, but I just been loving the cozy vibes and just figuring out with Vera Vixen like who did it, in the mystery, because it's a different mystery each book, which I like that in mystery series where they're focusing on different mysteries, different crimes, different murders basically in each book. And yeah, I think book 6 is what's out. It's up until book 6 that's out right now. I don't know if there's going to be more books in the series. I haven't really done a research, but I think I'm going to collect the series since I love it so much. I think it's something that I would want, like at least my nieces or somebody to read, because it's perfect for kids. It's like it's definitely not YA, but like it has that vibe where I think teenagers would love reading it too. And I was thinking I would just collect the paperback edition of the series. I never bought them physically because they're quite short, but I love the audiobooks too. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. So that's what I read so far this week. Other than The Night and the Moth, I read Summer's End and still reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I knew it was gonna take me a while to read it because I wanted to focus more on it, and I know with books like this that have a slower pace to get to the like big reveal and stuff, it takes much longer for me to read those books because I don't like to speed through those. So I have, and honestly too, I pick those books up less often than a fast-paced book because the plot is slower moving. So I don't pick it up as often because when I'm in the mood for more fast-paced, which is almost always, I go pick those other books up instead. So that's why I decided to go pick up Summer's End while reading this one. And then when I finished Summer's End this morning, I picked this one back up. And yeah, it's getting somewhere. It's starting to, the pacing is moving a whole lot better. So I'm excited. I'm going to read some more, then go to work. I have done it. I can finally say I finished reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Oh, many years coming, many years coming. I've been saying I'm going to read this book, and finally I did it. This November, I finally read it from start to finish. I restarted it because I had read the first 100 pages before, and I really wasn't vibing with it. This time around, I knew my experience before with it, so I came with a more open mind, and it was a struggle, but it was more. I was more in tune with this book. Like I like the writing style. I like the little quotes here and there that touch my heart. And honestly, the overall premise of this book is really beautiful. The ending too. I find the ending so badass. Like Addie LaRue, I love her. I love her. But let's be more serious now. Okay. So even still with that, I have never loved stories where there's a lot of flashbacks and there's like a lot of time jumps. And this book, it is just that is the main premise. There's gonna be a lot of going back in time, a lot of flashbacks, and yeah, I didn't love that. So definitely this is not going to be a 5-star read for me. It's just my personal preference. I don't love when there's a lot of flashbacks and stuff. It just takes me out of the current story too much, in my opinion, and makes it very hard to attach myself to the characters because I keep seeing them in different time periods with different people and stuff like that. So I did connect with Addie LaRue, but I didn't connect that much with Henry, especially when we're getting those scenes with him and going back and stuff, back and forth, back and forth. That was kind of annoying me and boring me. So that's one thing I have negative to say about this book. But otherwise, everything else is all positive. I really love the writing style. I love Addie LaRue's journey. I just at times my brain was just going off whenever we went back with her, in different time periods. And I feel like there was something missing with her relationship with the darkness. I feel like he wasn't really there in her life. Like they have an anniversary once a year, every year, that he would come and be like, okay, are you ready to surrender yourself to me, to give me your soul? But I don't know. When I first heard about this book, I felt like he'll be more in her life, but he wasn't. But like I was more satisfied towards the end for sure. So I think I'm gonna give this a solid 4-star because I did really love it. I love the writing style. Like I have a lot of annotations in the beginning because I was loving the beginning. But once it started flipping with the flashbacks started flipping into that other perspective. I was like, okay, I'm gonna admit I really hate flashbacks. It just pulled me out of the story a whole lot because I don't like flashbacks in movies and in books. I don't like it. I whenever I'm watching a show where there's a lot of going back in time and stuff, I just skip like skip. Obviously with this book, I didn't skip it after that. I'm like it's very important to the story. That's the whole storyline needs that. So it couldn't have been done any other way. But yeah, it's just my personal opinion that I don't like when that is done in books. So I don't think I'm ever gonna like that. Like it's fine when it's once in a while, every now and then, but the whole book is just chapters of that. So that really put me off right there. I was very bored right there with those parts. But overall, I love the writing style. I love Addie. I love how determined she was. Like she went 300 years to prove a point, okay? 300 years of people not remembering her and like restarting her life with the same person every day because they forgot her. Like she couldn't be me. I could never have done that. I would have given up after like a year. The stuff she's been through, and I feel like it was very realistic in my opinion how people would say the same stuff to her over and over whenever they meet her because it's like it's their first impression of her each time, so they say the same things each time. And there were some lines when someone would say something, I'm just like it just feels real. It just feels like real people. It didn't feel like they were characters. So I really liked that. It felt like something that would truly be said by people meeting someone that they already met but they didn't know they already met them. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just felt like the interactions were very realistic. Even with the fantastical element, with her being a person 300 years old, interacting with modern day people, I felt like their interactions with her would be something that would happen for real. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I enjoyed this book. It was a lovely read. I just don't like flashbacks when it's done too much. But yeah, 4 stars. Finally read this one. I can finally say I've read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I can finally see why people loved about it. I personally just don't love flashbacks, so it was never going to be a 5-star read for me, but I can see now why people loved it. And yeah, and it wasn't sad. I thought it was going to be like majorly sad. It honestly wasn't sad. It was bittersweet. It was lovely and realistic. So I enjoyed it. But that's me wrapping up this week's reading vlog. I read 3 books. The Night on the Mott, that was a lovely read, and Summer's End, my first 4.5-star read in the series, the Shady Hollow series. All of them have been a solid 4-star read, but that one was 4.5 stars, so I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which I hope is 5 stars. So yeah, thank you lovelies for watching this week's reading vlog. I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye for now.